Hello everybody, welcome back to Stan's Garage, bringing you everything you need to know for effective business IT management. Hey, so you know those pesky updates your devices are constantly bugging you about? Well, it's not just there to inconvenience you and slow your gear down, right? There are actually some benefits to installing those updates. And that's what I'll be telling you about in this video. So, with cyber threats as prevalent as they are today, both businesses and individuals have got to make sure their software is up to date with the newest security patches. A successful patch management system will help ensure all of your software remains up to date and free of known vulnerabilities and bugs. So, what exactly do we mean by patch management? Well, in a nutshell, patch management is the distribution and installation of software updates. Pretty simple, right? Well, operating systems, system software, browsers, and apps on your servers, workstations, and laptops all fall into these categories. When software companies provide patches, it's usually to address one of two things: either security flaws or faults in the software itself. Operating system upgrades, think like going from Windows 10 to 11 or to the latest Mac OS, right? Hot fixes, security patches, and service packs are just a few examples of what would be considered patch releases. So why do we need to do this, you ask? You've been running the same version of your operating system and haven't had any problems, you say. Well, maybe for now, but here's what you're missing. Over 18,000 software flaws have been uncovered in 2021. Patch deployments can be prioritized based on the severity of a vulnerability's criticality rating. Critical flaws that permitted remote code to be executed were found in more than 4,300 of those 18,000 uncovered vulnerabilities. These are the most critical of security flaws, which means they should be addressed as soon as they're discovered. Patch management's goal is to keep the software running smoothly while also ensuring its safety. Reducing an attack surface is one of the primary goals of regular patching of those software vulnerabilities. The Ponemon Institute found that 60% of data breaches were caused by exploiting a previously known vulnerability that had not been patched. So in layman's terms, over half the time a security incident occurs, it's because computer systems were not kept up to date. That's why when it comes to keeping your systems safe, proper patch management is an absolute requirement, and it should be one of the primary responsibilities for whomever is managing your IT. Patches are mostly used to correct bugs and security weaknesses in the software, as I'd stated earlier. And if you're in a regulated industry, like say finance or the medical field, it's a condition for compliance. As a result, firms need to use patch management in order to remain in compliance with numerous industry standards and regulations. Ignore the rules if you want, but if you get caught, you risk paying a fine. And by patching your systems, you can avoid fines and penalties levied by those regulatory agencies. Nobody wants to end up on that HIPAA wall of shame. So at this point, you'll see that patching your software on a regular basis can help keep your IT environment safer from intrusions. Ransomware and other forms of cybercrime can put an end to your organization. So taking a proactive approach to keeping your devices up to date is critical. Not only security, but system downtime can be caused by other various glitches that software updates can address. No sense in experiencing unnecessary downtime that can be addressed by software updates before they impact your bottom line. There are a number of schools of thought on updating systems, but for businesses of almost any size, organizing these updates in a centralized patch management system will help keep the process running smoothly and administrators aware when devices are out of date. An automated approach that eases the workload of the IT department is also essential for that effective patch management policy. So how often do you apply updates? It varies, but typically it's a monthly cycle, and you'd be deploying patches within 30 days of their release. If something critical is uncovered that really deems to be updated immediately, then an emergency deployment may be deemed necessary. At that point, you'll be happy you already had your patch deployment solution in place. Now, here's a rough outline of what a general patch management procedure might look like. So you keep track of patch releases. There's tons of websites that'll do it. Your patch management system will probably keep you aware as well. Endpoint management software kind of goes hand in hand with patch management. We'll probably take care of this without you even having to think about it. Software will check all the included endpoints, think servers, PCs, laptops, Macs, whatever you might have, to see whether there are any recently announced patches that need to be applied. And then you can take advantage of those vendor supplied fixes. Patches can be downloaded from a vendor's website as soon as they're made available for download, and that would typically help you commence with the deployment process. Patches should also be thoroughly tested in a sandbox environment before being deployed to live systems. Wouldn't be the first time a patch actually went out and broke something it was meant to fix. So be sure you've tested and then apply, right? Test first, apply second. Important to keep that order straight, right? Follow your patch deployment policies and schedule, and apply to production systems once all that's been taken care of, right? The testing part. To save time and keep the environment clean, you're going to want to automate as much of this procedure as you can. You plan your patch deployments in advance, and you do it when it wouldn't cause any downtime. So if required, you can use some blackout windows to keep deployments from happening during your peak business hours. Usually you schedule off hours. If your IT department asks you to leave your computer on for the update window, please do them a favor and leave it on. Right? No one wants to bug you during a workday to get updates deployed. Keep you productive and let you do your job unencumbered. Make sure those fixes are installed correctly and that they don't cause any problems for your systems, your staff, or any applications before they've been deployed. Right? So after the updates have been applied, your systems should work pretty much how they did previously. But still, keep your eyes and ears open for any reports of erratic behavior and have a rollback plan in place if it's absolutely necessary. Your management system will provide information about newly installed software and any issues that may have been encountered. Be prepared to remediate any missed systems at this point and address issues that might have arisen from your last patch cycle. Now, it's important to keep all of your computers, other software up to date with those patches as well. So outside of operating systems, you got virtualization software, web browsers, and other third-party applications that are among the sorts of applications you need to keep in mind. Things like Google Chrome, Adobe Acrobat, WinZip, and any number of other third-party programs all require the occasional update. Patch management policies for servers and end-user devices will likely differ too. Think about some of the best practices for managing these patch cycles. Centralized patch management across all of your endpoint is made easier with a single pane of glass where you can see everything and what level revision it's on. Patches need to be deployed in a logical order based on their importance or their security functionality. So you streamline the patching procedure by using automation. Automation can shorten the time between patch release and patch applications. You can set policies like anything absolutely critical you deploy immediately, right? From there, you'll want to standardize the patching procedure for the various types of endpoints in your organization. Like servers, desktop, laptops are all going to have a slightly different policy when you might deploy. Endpoint management software allows you to create those policies and maintain them. It's also strongly advisable to have a test environment for updates before deploying them to avoid being surprised by unexpected complications, like we talked about earlier. Test first, patch second. Remember that. In summary, automated patching enhances your cybersecurity posture and reduces the workload on your IT team by performing software upgrades automatically instead of the haphazard, monotonous process of connecting and updating each device manually. Endpoint scanning, patch acquisition, and patch deployment can be streamlined and automated with that patch management software you've deployed. That software typically integrates with endpoint management tools, creating a powerful combination of remote monitoring and maintenance, RMM tools, as you might have seen in one of my earlier videos. You can check that out if you want to know all about RMM. Now, so with all this in mind, I think you'll have a solid understanding of why you need to keep systems updated, how to best accomplish getting those updates deployed, and what you should include in your patching policies. If you have any questions or think there's something I missed, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, and Chloe and I will catch you on the next one.